D'Agostino, nicknamed the Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me the Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey, and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Ever been crammed in a car on a road trip, knees to your chest, wishing for more space? Yeah, not anymore. Introducing the all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9, our first three-row all-electric EV. That's right, space, finally, in an EV. With class-leading interior space, there's room for the whole crew and their gear. Road trippers, carpoolers, gear haulers, families. This EV is built for your kind of adventure. And the Ioniq 9 rear-wheel drive S-Trim, it delivers an EPA estimate 335 miles on a full charge. Actual range will vary. Plug into a 3250-kilowatt DC ultra-fast charger and CCS adapter, and in just 15 minutes, you can get up to 150 miles of range. Actual charge time may vary. Plus, you get tech-infused with standard safety features like Highway Driving Assist 2 and Blind Spot Collision Avoidance Assist. And with a 10-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty, the road ahead is wide open. EVs aren't just for city driving anymore. The Ioniq 9 is for those who go further. Literally. Learn more about the Ioniq 9 at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
Wednesday News Time, 9/11. That's time for traffic and transit. And Susan Brown.
And here's what you need to know about the big three of Long Island. Oh, gosh, big problems on the westbound Southern State. Right around exit 19, it's Peninsula Boulevard. You've got a crash, and it looks like the cars, at least one of them, are sideways in the road, and that backup is really starting to thicken. Rescue has, looks like all lanes down for the moment right at Peninsula Boulevard on the westbound Southern State. So the jam up is getting pretty heavy. The Meadowbrook is a good place for you to hop off. Go south, hop on the Sunrise. It looks good. The eastbound side of the Southern State in that area at exit 19 is slow with onlookers. The Northern State and Southern State, except for the Southern State, the Northern State and the LIE are looking okay. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Lincoln and Holland, no worries, breezing right along. Outbound George, about 20 minutes, 25 give or take. Ditto for the inbound side. You've got pockets of slowdowns both ways in the Cross Bronx, but it's just all exiting or merging traffic, so it's no major worries to speak about there. Now in Jersey City, we still have that problem with the crash on the northbound Pulaski Skyway. One lane is down right around Broadway. The backup is to around Raymond Boulevard. And we are seeing some ground stoppages at JFK. It looks like it's mostly for flights from Canada. Just a handful of airports, and it's starting to ease up now. And our next report is on the way at 9:21. Susan Browning, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Now let's check out the AccuWeather 4-day forecast with meteorologist Matt Benz.
For tonight, clear to partly cloudy, breezy and cooler with a low of 53. Then for tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine. It will be breezy and a cool day for the first day of June. Stray shower cannot be ruled out as well, mainly north and west of the city with a high of 68. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, low of 55. Monday, more sun than clouds. Overall, a nice day, trending warmer with a high of 73. Pleasant for Tuesday, even warmer with a good deal of sunshine. High of 80 degrees. Temperatures likely into the mid-80s towards the midweek. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Matt Benz on New York's weather station, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Coming up, a baseball Eastern European Day tomorrow at the Brooklyn Cyclones.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOVE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The Chef IQ Sense is a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat. So whether on a stovetop, oven, or out on the grill, it is built to withstand extreme heat. The probe is inserted into your food and connected wirelessly to an app. Once you select your desired doneness, the app alerts you when to take the steaks off the grill and even alerts you when to flip them. Order one now at chefiq.com. Enter the code word BOOMER for 15% off your order. chefiq.com. Code word BOOMER.
Hey, it's Greg Rice. So, who does your laundry? For my wife and me, now it's Rinse. Used to be one day during the week, I'd get up early, start the laundry, then we get our kids up, get them ready and off to school. In between, I was turning over the laundry, getting as much done as I could, and then when I left for work, my wife would handle the rest. Not anymore. Now Rinse does our laundry. They pick it up, it's back the next day, washed and folded. Rinse does our laundry, and we don't have to worry about it anymore, so we've got more time with our kids. Sign up at rinse.com and get $20 off your first order. That's RINSE.com.
Tomorrow is Eastern European Day at the Brooklyn Cyclones. It's an all-day event that features a game in the morning with Team Ukraine playing an Eastern European all-star team with players from Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Georgia, Moldova, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia. There's a Cyclones game in the afternoon after the first game. The event is designed to draw attention to Eastern Europe's potential to become a baseball hub and to connect with New York's Eastern European community. Steve Cohen, not the Mets owner, but the vice president of the Cyclones.
Giving people an opportunity from the countries where they're coming from to play at a ballpark like Mamandi's Park, and for many of them get out of an area that's been a little bit difficult to live in over the last few years is really special.
Festivities for the first game start at 10 a.m. Following the first game, there will be a home run derby, and then the Cyclones play at 2 p.m. In case you were wondering what the world's most valuable football team is, it is Real Madrid. No big surprise for the fourth year in a row. And the ninth time in the past 12 editions of Forbes rankings, Real Madrid is the second team from any sport to cross $1 billion in revenue. The only other, the Dallas Cowboys. Other highly valued football teams, Manchester United, Barcelona, Liverpool, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain came in 7th, Arsenal 8th, NYCFC's 23rd. Paris Saint-Germain beat Inter Milan 5-0 today to win the Champions League for the first time. NBA star Zion Williamson is denying allegations of sexual, physical, emotional, and financial abuse during a years-long relationship with a woman that is alleged in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles this week.
The civil complaint details 2 alleged incidents of rape taking place in 2020 in Beverly Hills, as well as accusations of strangulation, death threats to the plaintiff and her family, as well as physical abuse. Now, Williamson's attorney denies the allegations, calling the claims categorically false and reckless, adding that it appears to be an extortion attempt, which he says was reported to law enforcement.
That's correspondent Melissa Adan. An Olympic boxing champion must undergo sex screening before fighting again under the sport's new governing body.
World Boxing has announced mandatory sex testing for all of its athletes. The governing body specifically mentioned Khalif when announcing the policy, saying the Algerian gold medal winner must be screened before she will be approved to fight in any upcoming events. Khalif won a gold medal at the Paris Olympics last summer amid international scrutiny on her and Taiwan's Lin Yuting, another gold medal winner. I'm Gethin Coolball.
Have you ever wondered why there is so much cancer on Long Island? Did you know that the DuPont Chemical Corporation and 3M recently agreed to a $13.5 billion settlement for contaminating public drinking water with cancer-causing forever chemicals? Long Island's drinking water has some of the highest concentrations of these cancer-causing forever chemicals. If you live on Long Island and have been diagnosed with kidney cancer, testicular cancer, liver cancer, or ulcerative colitis, you you may have a claim. Call the lawyers at Krenzel, Guzman, Herbert. The KG Law Team is on your side. You can trust KG Law Team to diligently work toward restoring you and your family's well-being. There are serious time constraints, so call the KG Law Team for a free consultation at 212-227-2900. That's 212-227-2900. Or visit their website at kglawteam.com. That's kglawteam.com.
At Mercedes-Benz of Edison, finding your perfect luxury vehicle is what they do best. It's no wonder they were named the 2025 Mercedes-Benz Dealer of the Year by Cars.com. Come in for exclusive offers on over 500 vehicles during the Mercedes-Benz of Edison Spring event.
Wesley Financial Group is not an offer.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-314-2233. 800-314-2233. 800-314-2233.
From the heartbeat of Harlem to the energy of Washington Heights, we are New York's all-news station.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening. It's 58 degrees at 9:20. I'm Bud Mishkin. Here's what's happening. Game 6 tonight in Indiana as the Knicks try to stay alive and force a Game 7 against the Pacers back at the Garden. A retirement celebration today at Cathedral of St. John the Divine for the first openly lesbian bishop in the Anglican Communion. New York's Campaign Finance Board is again withholding money from Andrew Cuomo's mayoral campaign. 33rd Annual Queens Pride Parade and Multicultural Festival kicks off tomorrow in Jackson Heights. And 1010 Wins entertainment news, an apology from a Broadway icon, Patti LuPone. Well, sports first, we got the Mets beating the Rockies. The Yankees are in Los Angeles. NYCFC drew with Nashville, and the Red Bulls are in Atlanta tonight. Now, let's get to traffic and transit. Here's Susan Brown.
And here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Still that issue on the westbound Southern State, right around exit 19. And you've got a multi-car crash. So the rescue had all lanes closed down. But now at least we have one lane squeaking by there near Peninsula Boulevard. But the jam up, that starts around the Meadowbrook. So if you want to hop off that Meadowbrook, take that southbound and take the Sunrise, it's moving well. Not seeing any problems there. The eastbound side of the Southern State in that crash area, you got it. Delays with onlookers. At least the LIE looks okay, and the Northern State is checking out all right. Let's move to the east side of Manhattan, northbound Harlem River Drive at 155th. That's exit 23, Macomb Dam Bridge. You've got a crash there. Stop and go back to around 145th Street Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We're okay. The Lincoln and Holland, not seeing any worries on the inbound George. 20 or less, ditto for the outbound George. But check this out. The lower level of the George is going to be closed both ways starting in about 40 minutes. It's going to stay that way till noon tomorrow for the American Cancer Society Challenge. And the upper level is going to be a jam up. And our next report's coming up at 9:31. Susan Browning, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
That's the chant of Knick fans, no doubt, tonight throughout our area. Game 6 in Indiana, Knicks and Pacers, with the Knicks needing a win to force a Game 7 back at the Garden. If you're a big history buff, this is what happened in '94. The Knicks needed a Game 6 win in Indiana to force a Game 7 back at the Garden, and they got it. And they did the same thing in 1995. Can they do it again, Knick fans?
These guys remind me of the old, 90s and early 2000 teams that I rooted for growing up. So I'm excited. We want the Knicks to bring it home, come home on Monday to have a Game 7.
Pacers is winning this game tonight, 100%.
I don't want to say anything rude, but they're going to lose.
Well, give the young man credit. I mean, you may not have been happy with his prediction, but he wasn't being rude. He wasn't rude. I'll give him that. It was a special day at the Cathedral Church of St. John the Divine, the Episcopal Diocese of New York, honoring the Right Reverend Mary Glasspool, the first openly lesbian bishop in the Anglican communion. With a retirement service, Reverend Dr. Carter Hayward is an American feminist theologian and priest.
Let us remember women like Yoseli Barnica and the countless other women and men, boys and girls, non-binary and trans siblings, immigrants and refugees throughout this world who are being deserted this very day by their nations, their families, their communities, and too often their churches.
Reverend Glasspool served for 45 years. Talks between the U.S. and Iran toward a new nuclear program. Meanwhile, there's a new report from the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency that indicates that Iran has actually increased its efforts of uranium enrichment, going as high as 60%, where 90% is considered weapons grade. This unreleased report indicates Iran has 900 pounds of uranium enriched that high.
On Saturday, Israel's prime minister, who has long favored military action against Tehran, said the document was proof of intent to create a nuclear weapons program. Iranian state media dismissed it all as politically motivated. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister said he was still reviewing details of the latest Trump administration proposal to broker a diplomatic agreement about nuclear development.
That is CBS News senior foreign affairs correspondent, and host of Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames, because he found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster, which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates other insurers, not available in all states.
You've seen the ads, pre-owned car prices that seem too good to be true, because often they are. Once you try to buy one, the final price is thousands more. You've been duped, but that won't happen at Major World, where what you negotiate is what you pay. Yeah, some things we can't help, like taxes, DMV fees, plus a small $175 processing fee, but that's it. No surprises. Don't get duped by fake low prices. Come instead to Major World.
Major World, 2340 Northern Boulevard, Long Island City, Queens. Call 1-800-MAJOR-AUTO or go to MajorWorld.com.
Now, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins.
Right now, it's tricky to be a consumer-facing business.
It's a really hard time to be forecasting because the headlines have been moving quickly.
Michelle Meyer, Chief Economist, MasterCard Economics Institute.
Not much has changed in terms of what would influence actual consumer spending and behavior. It's more about sentiment and headlines and fear about what's to come.
That's due in large part to big names in retail warning of falling revenue and rising prices due to tariffs. Even if many of the levies initially threatened don't stick around, the disruption to business plans alone can wreak havoc. But that's down the road a bit. Right now,
consumers can really still get the product that they demand. The distortions haven't yet shown up, it seems, in terms of what's actually there on the shelves.
Meyer says one reason is that in the cloud of consumer uncertainty, some retailers have found the silver lining.
A lot of companies were proactive. Some companies tried to stockpile ahead of this period of uncertainty related to tariffs.
Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now a commercial message. I'm Larry Mullins. Personal injury should equal personal attention. That's what you get at Spector & Associates Serious Injury Law Firm. They understand accidents and represent people who have been seriously injured. Spector & Associates is based in New York and will help. Injured? Call them first. 800-318-8888. Spector & Associates has recovered hundreds of millions of dollars for their clients. Have you been involved in any kind of accident? Visit their website, crashinjury.com, or call 800-318-8888. The attorneys at Spector & Associates are fierce in getting you the money you deserve. Call them first, 800-318-8888. That's 800-318-8888. Or visit their website, crashinjury.com.
Spector and Associates, your serious injury lawyers. 800-318-8888.
Coming up, New York's Campaign Finance Board is again withholding money from Andrew Cuomo's mayoral campaign. We'll have the story in a minute.
Gosh, I'm on time. What are you grinning about?
Todd, Memorial Day weekend marks the start of summer. And you know the best part?
Well, you've got to be talking about the Memorial Day sales event with Employee Price Plus at Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Yeah, that too. But I finally get to show off this smoking beach body.
While you're basking in the sun, Ramsey customers will be basking in major savings when they lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $389 a month for 42 months and only $47.78 due at signing, plus tax and MV fees.
And with a mega large cargo capability, the new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 is perfect for hauling all of your beach gear.
Ramsey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, home of exceptional people, exceptional deals.
Call 833-853-2969 for details. VIN number SN710281, MSRP $57.80, $0 security deposit, expires 6/2/25.
Quick check of AccuWeather for the overnight hours. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a low of 53. And then tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun. It'll be breezy and cool for early June. A stray shower can't be ruled out, mostly north and west of the city with a high of 68. Then Monday, nice day. More sun than clouds. Warmer and nice, high of 73, up to 80 on Tuesday. Good evening. I'm Bud Mishkin. Wins News Time at the Tone, 9:30.
Good evening, I am Stephanie Officer. 24 days until primary day for New York City mayor, and one opponent is blasting another for allegedly coordinating with a super PAC.
One mayoral candidate is slamming Andrew Cuomo after his campaign was fined $675,000 for illegally coordinating with his super PAC. Opponent Zoran Mamdani speaking at a Working Families Party event where he picked up their top endorsement.
These are the same donors who contributed to the Trump administration. They've now given that money to his super PAC, and yet they're finding that they're not even competent enough to spend that money.
The city's campaign finance board says Cuomo's team broke the rules, and Mamdani says Cuomo is dodging accountability.
I think we should hear from Andrew Cuomo.
Cuomo's spokesperson calls the ruling unfounded, saying the campaign followed the law and now has $7.3 million on hand. Darius Radzi, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
It's News Time 9:31. Traffic transit on the 1. Susan Brown.
And westbound Southern State is the place to avoid, right around exit 19, Peninsula Boulevard. Looks like a multi-car crash. Rescue now has, one lane is squeezing by. They are moving that down. Looks like they're still working on clearing that out. So the jam up goes back to around the Meadowbrook. So what you can do, if you want to hop off onto the Meadowbrook, take that southbound and then jump off to the Sunrise Highway because that looks pretty good. The eastbound side of the Southern State in that same spot, delays with onlookers. The LIE looks pretty decent. It's been pretty quiet this evening. All around eastbound, westbound, just seeing pockets of delays here and there. Northern State not seeing any issues either. On the east side of Manhattan, though, yes, northbound the Harlem River Drive at McCombs Dam Bridge, that's 155th Street, exit 23. You've got a crash there and stop-and-go traffic to 140 feet. 145th Street Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Speaking of bridges, the inbound George 20 or less, pretty much the same thing going outbound. But check this, y'all. The lower level is going to be closed down in about a half an hour. That's when it's scheduled to be closed from 10 p.m. tonight till noon tomorrow for the American Cancer Society Challenge. So everybody to the upper level. The support sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones. Breaking traffic alerts when they happen. Susan Browning, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
I'm Altima Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now let's check on your official 1010 Winds AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Matt Benz.
Out the door for tonight, breezy and cooler, clear to partly cloudy with a low of 53. Then for tomorrow, another breezy, cool day, especially for early June. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower cannot be ruled out, mainly north and west of the city with a high of 68. Clear skies then for tomorrow night, low of 55. Warmer into Monday, nice day, more sun than clouds with a high of 73. Trending warmer into Tuesday with lots of sunshine, a high of 80 degrees. Temperatures well into the 80s and towards the midweek. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Matt Benz on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Queens will be drenched in rainbows tomorrow for the Queens Pride Parade, with more than 60,000 expected to flood Jackson Heights in the city's first major Pride event of the season.
The 33rd annual Queens Pride Parade, held in Jackson Heights, is the most diverse Pride celebration in the entire country. And we're going to see that diversity on display with over 60,000 expected in Jackson Heights. And kicking off Pride Month for our region.
That's David Kilminnick, president of the NYLGBT Network, speaking to WINS. Now, before the parade steps off, a protest will take place calling for the release of Honorary Grand Marshal Andrew Romero, a gay asylum seeker and artist that activists say was wrongfully deported by the Trump administration. He's currently imprisoned in one of El Salvador's mega prisons. The protest urges U.S. officials to act and bring Andrew home. The rally starts at 11:30 a.m. on the corner of 89th Street and 37th Avenue. The parade begins a half hour later at that same corner. And featured speakers include Mayor Adams and AOC. Well, the Trump administration is moving to stop funding for HIV vaccine research, claiming the current approaches are enough to counter the virus. Notifications that the funding would not be extended was sent to researchers yesterday. The cuts will slow down 2 major HIV research efforts, and Moderna says their clinical trials through the National Institute of Health will be affected as well. Editor-at-large for Public Health at KFF, Dr. Celine Gounder, says the cuts will affect a new prevention treatment.
I think what's really sad is the particular moment in time when this is happening, which is to say we have a new drug on the table to prevent HIV, which is injectable. We anticipate the FDA will approve this in June, twice-a-year injections, and very soon we may even see once-a-year injections based on some of the preliminary data on that drug.
Renewed hope for peace after more than 600 days of war in Gaza. President Trump says an American-brokered ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas is close to being finalized.
Hamas have now responded directly to the United States. They want to deal with the Trump administration directly, not with the Netanyahu government that they don't trust. And in essence, what they're saying is, look, we're taking on all these points, but we'd like to discuss something that involves a lasting ceasefire. In other words, not the 60-day temporary ceasefire that's in this proposal at the moment, but a lasting ceasefire.
It's Ian Panel in Tel Aviv. Actor Valerie Mahaffey has died at age 71 after a battle with cancer. That's according to a statement from her publicist released today. She died yesterday in Los Angeles. Mahaffey's work included the soap opera Doctors, Young Sheldon, Desperate Housewives, and Northern Exposure. She also appeared in the movie Sully with Tom Hanks and in French Exit with Michelle Pfeiffer. She is survived by her husband and daughter. WINS News Time, 9:37, 1010 WINS Entertainment News next.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-314-2233. 800-314-2233. 800-314-2233.
An apology coming from Patty Lupone tonight after comments she made in an interview about Audra McDonald and Keisha Lewis garnered major backlash. Lupone saying in part, "I'm deeply sorry for the words I used during the New Yorker interview, particularly about Keisha Lewis, which were demeaning and disrespectful." The offstage drama all started in that New Yorker interview where Lupone questioned Lewis's Broadway experience and called her a colorful word I can't say here. Lupone also said McDonald was not a friend and that they had a rift years ago. On Friday, Playbill reported there was a letter that over 500 Broadway performers signed reprimanding Lupone's behavior. Entertainment news at 38 past each and every hour right here on 1010 Wins. Wins News Time, 9:39.
Entertainment on 1010 Wins is sponsored by Shulman & Hill, New York's injury lawyers.
Go to hurtny.com.
That's hurtny.com.
Hey, Jen, what are you here for?
Amy, hi. Getting a couple last-minute snacks for a get-together at my mom's.
Oh, I thought she was on hospice.
She is. But ever since MJHS Hospice started caring for her at home 2 months ago, her symptoms have been managed, and she enjoys having company.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, they've been great. Her nurse, social worker, music therapist, and doctor are all so warm and comforting.
I've heard they're amazing.
They are. And they're not for profit, so they really care.
She deserves the best. And I love that MJHS comes to you.
Me too. They also support us. We need that right now.
I'll bet. Give her a hug for me.
I will. Thanks for being so thoughtful.
MJHS Hospice, leading the way to great care. To learn more, talk to your doctor or visit mjhshospice.org.
Download the free Odyssey app and make 1010 Wins a favorite.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, 58 degrees, 9:40 on your Saturday, May 31st. I am Stephanie Officer. Here's what's happening. The Knicks in a must-win situation in Game 6 in Indianapolis as we speak against the Pacers. The search continues for the 15-year-old girl who went missing in the East River. An early morning Harlem fire injures 8 too seriously. Scammers are targeting drivers via text message, giving so-called final notices for unpaid parking tickets. And a cat who survived a nearly 400-foot fall finds a forever home where she can luxuriate. In sports, the Mets get the W over the Rockies. It's 57 degrees in Midtown Wins News Time. 9:41 traffic transit on the one. Susan Brown.
When we go back out to Long Island, we take a look what's happening on that westbound Southern State Parkway. Yep, that problem is still there. There was a multi-car crash, and in fact, one of the cars was sideways in the roadway. But now we still have that problem there, but we do have now 2 lanes getting by. So it's the westbound Southern State at exit 19 right around Peninsula Boulevard. That multi-car crash being cleared away. 2 lanes now getting by, but the jam up is still around the Meadowbrook. So you can either hop off in the Meadowbrook, take that southbound Sunrise, it's just right there. You can hop onto that if you want to go westbound, or just add 15 minutes to your drive. At least the eastbound side of the Southern State is starting to ease up from rubbernecking delays as we move to the east side of Manhattan. The northbound Harlem River Drive at the Queensdale Bridge, you've got a crash there. Stop and go to around 145th Street. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We're so far so good. Knock wood at the Lincoln and the Holland in both directions. The George looks okay for now, except in about 20 minutes it's scheduled to be closed. The lower level will be in both directions from 10 o'clock tonight till noon tomorrow for the American Cancer Society Challenge. And our next report is coming up at 9:51. Susan Browning, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Well, our home team, the Knicks, is in Indiana as we speak, trying to stave off elimination in the Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana looking to make the second NBA Finals appearance in franchise history and the first in 25 years. The Pacers lead the series 3-2 after losing Game 5 to the Knicks, 111-94 on Thursday. That was a good game. Now they're in the third quarter. Knicks are down, but Dave tells us he's watching.
I think that we should win, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm as a sports fan, I like to, I don't like to predetermine anything. Just watch the game and see how it goes, really.
Just watch, pull your hair out. A Knicks win will bring the series back here to New York Monday night for Game 7. The series winner will open the finals Thursday at Oklahoma City. New York is trying to become the 14th team in league history to rally from a 3-1 deficit to win a series that has not reached the finals since 1999. Hasn't won a title since 1973. Well, the search has resumed for a 15-year-old girl who went missing in the East River under the Roosevelt Island Bridge after she reportedly jumped in to retrieve her dropped phone around 12:15 yesterday afternoon. After calling off the search due to weather conditions yesterday, divers picked it back up, now calling it a recovery mission in the waters between Queens and Randall's Island. Roosevelt Island resident Jackie Garcia telling Winds.
The seaweed on the rocks, that's slippery. Once you take off your shoes, you can't grip.
Bystanders say the team went missing in waters with a strong current. Be safe when you head to the beach. Rip currents have already killed at least 14 people in the U.S. this year.
It's chaotic and disorienting. Human instinct wants you to fight for your life, but experts say it's that panic, exerting too much energy trying to swim against the current that leads to death. Experts say most people can't swim more than about 50 yards without needing to touch bottom. If you get caught in a rip, you might have to swim 3 to 4 times that to get back to shore, meaning even if you can swim out of the current, you may not have the strength to get to safety.
That is Victor Oquendo reporting from Florida. More MTA violence to tell you about. Police tell Wynn's man was stabbed at the 42nd Street subway station on 3rd Avenue near the 7 Line this morning. The 28-year-old victim was attacked just after 9 a.m. by an unknown individual. Cops say the victim was punched first, then stabbed in the hand. The victim suffered a laceration to the nose and a stab wound in his left hand. He was taken to a local hospital in stable condition. No arrests have been made yet. That investigation is ongoing, but it's unclear what led up to that attack. At least 8 people were injured, 2 seriously, in a Harlem fire in the wee hours of this morning.
The fire broke out on the 3rd floor here at around 4:30 in the morning. Smoke poured into apartments.
When I woke up, my apartment was engulfed in smoke. I thought the fire was in my apartment.
8 people were injured, 2 seriously. Sabrina Purdy got her kids out just in time.
You worry about your kids, and we wasn't sure we were going to make it out, so it was very scary.
Now she's worried about how much the smoke affected her and her daughter.
I'm going to go down to get asthma treatment.
The Red Cross is here helping families find shelter while the FDNY Fire Marshal investigates what sparked the flames. Darius Radio's 1010 Wiz at 92.3 FM in Harlem.
When's news time? 9:46.
Hi, we're Wren Kitchens. In our 50-year history, we've made and installed millions of quality kitchens. And now you can find us at the Home Depot across the tri-state area. With thousands of styles and colors to choose from, we offer a free home measurement service and expert design consultation. All of our kitchens are made in the U.S. and delivered directly to you and installed by our specialist fitters. We cut out the middleman to save you money. And with our flexible financing, you can spread the cost over 7 years. Come down to Wren Kitchens at the Home Depot now. Finance subject to credit approval. Offers may change. See website for more details.
My daughter's Aspen. She has stage 4 neuroblastoma. St. Jude is like, it saved us. The financial help given here goes a long way. The research helps, not just here, it reaches the whole world. And St. Jude is a gift. I just want to say thank you.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Well, the scammers are active again. This time, the New York DMV warning of a new phishing scam text giving final notice for unpaid traffic tickets. The so-called final notice message claims the recipient is subject to penalties under a New York State administrative code if they do not make a payment. The text says the DMV will suspend their car registration, take away their driving privilege for 30 days, and charge a 35% service fee at toll booths. It also warns of potential prosecution and an impact on the driver's credit score. Please note the DMV says they will not send you texts asking for your personal information. Drivers across the country have been targeted by similar messages this year. The Pennsylvania DOT sent out a warning to residents this week about it, so did New Jersey authorities. A historic New Orleans style jazz funeral in the city today to honor long-lost ancestors of families in the city. Dillard University professor Ava Bayham says the city will memorialize 19 Black Americans whose skulls were taken to Germany in the 1880s for experiments.
We're not righting the wrong. We can't right the past. But what we're doing is bringing it to the present, and we are honoring these individuals.
Officials say the University of Leipzig reached out to the city of New Orleans in 2023 and offered to repatriate the remains. latest numbers on the economy showing inflation is slowing, but people still are not racing to spend.
Federal courts, they've been split on this. One ruling said the president overstepped his authority with the sweeping Liberation Day tariffs, but for now, a federal appeals court is allowing them to continue under emergency powers. But all of this comes as new data shows Americans pulled back on spending in April, and that's a clue that economic uncertainty may already be hitting home.
Correspondent Morgan Norwood. If any American tourists in London are feeling homesick this summer, they can catch an exhibition devoted to some of their well-heeled compatriots.
Between 1870 and 1914, more than 100 American heiresses married into the British aristocracy.
The name Dolly Princess has stuck for about 100 years.
Wendy Monkhouse, curator of an exhibition of 18 of their portraits by the society painter John Singer Sargent at London's Kenwood House. Sargent's great-nephew, Richard Ormond, explains Britain's appeal to those brides.
It represented glamour, fashion, fine art, old tradition.
And, of course, their new money revived the fortunes of dozens of impoverished aristocrats.
Correspondent Vicky Barker reporting from London. The exhibition runs until October 5th. Instead of asking for someone to pass the salt, you should take a pass on it.
Which foods are to blame for our high consumption of salt? A survey by the American Heart Association found pizza, soup, and chicken are the main sources of sodium for most Americans. The survey also found sodium use varies by race and ethnicity, with Asian Americans most likely to add salt during cooking, and black adults most likely to try and reduce their salt intake.
Correspondent Michael George. Wisconsin judge accused of helping an undocumented migrant evade immigration authorities is receiving some support.
A bipartisan group of more than 130 retired judges is urging a federal court to drop charges against Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan, and in a brief argues that her arrest undermines centuries of precedent on judicial immunity. The Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge was arrested in April by FBI agents on federal allegations she prevented the arrest of Eduardo Flores Ruiz during a federal law enforcement operation at her courthouse. Dugan has pleaded not guilty.
Correspondent Jennifer Kuiper wins News Time 950. Traffic and AccuWeather next on 1010.
23 years later, there is a serious problem for civilians who are part of the 9/11 community. Susan Richard here with this message from Barish and McGarry. And Michael Barish, what's going on?
Well, the civilians don't realize they're entitled to the same benefits as the firefighters and cops. Governor Hochul signed a bill making it mandatory for downtown companies south of Canal Street to advise their former employees that they are eligible for both the health program and the victim fund.
So you're talking about the 9/11 Notice Act. If somebody is yet to be contacted by that former employer, what should they do?
Contact us. Let us enroll you in both programs. Let us reach out to your former company and let them know that it's mandatory that they comply with the law. We want to make sure everyone accesses the benefits to which they are entitled. And here's the thing. We make sure that your award is fair. We make sure you get the justice you deserve.
So contact Barish and McGarry. Let them help you enroll. 911awards.com. That's 911awards with an S.com.
Barish and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community.
It's News Time 951. Traffic transit on the one, Susan Browning.
And we start off with that westbound Southern State Parkway accident. That looks like it's been cleared away off the road. I'm not seeing the icon on my map anymore. And I am looking at delays of, okay, those have eased up pretty nicely. Just looking right around Grand Avenue is where it starts to slow down. And that crash was right around Peninsula Boulevard. So let me take a quick peek. All right, I think you're good to go now on the westbound Southern State. If you don't want to chance it, which I think is okay, you can always take the westbound Sunrise. It looks really good. And we're looking okay on the LIE, the Northern State as well. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Look at that Holland and Lincoln, just breezing along both ways, not seeing any worries. The George coming inbound and going outbound. So far, so good. But you know they're going to close that lower level in both ways tonight, starting at 10. That's what it's scheduled to happen. And that's happening till noon tomorrow for the American Cancer Society Challenge. And that means that upper level is going to be a jam up. Moving to the east side of Manhattan, the northbound Harlem River Drive, we had a crash right around the Queensdown Bridge. Still a bit of a stop and go sitch there from 145th Street Bridge. Why can't I say that? Our next report's coming up at 10:01. Susan Browning, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now time to check out your official 1010 Winds AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Matt Benz.
Breezy and cooler for tonight. Clear to partly cloudy with a low of 53. Then for tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, breezy, and another cool day, especially for early June. Stray shower cannot be ruled out, especially north and west of the city, with a high of 68. Turning out mainly clear then for tomorrow night, low of 55. Finally beginning to warm up into Monday. More sun than clouds. Should be a nice day with a high of 73. And pleasant for Tuesday. Trending warmer with lots of sunshine, high of 80 degrees. Temperatures returning to the mid-80s for the middle of next week. I'm Yankee weather meteorologist Matt Benz on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Hey Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday night, June 6th to see the Yankees host the division rival Boston Red Sox and get ready to receive a great promotional giveaway. It's Yogi Berra U.S. Navy Bobblehead Night, presented by State Farm. The first 18,000 guests will receive a Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, don't miss Yogi Berra U.S. Navy Bobblehead Night, presented by State Farm, when the Yankees face the Red Sox on Friday, June 6th.
The Salvation Army urgently needs your vehicle, boat, RV, motorcycle, and trucks. These donations fund rehabilitation centers where men and women who've lost everything can find hope. Trusted for over 150 years, the Salvation Army will pick up your vehicle and provide an IRS-approved receipt. Your generosity is doing the most good when donating to the Salvation Army. Call 800-SA-TRUCK or visit satruck.org. Thank you for helping the Salvation Army doing the most good.
Historian Robert Friedrich says it was very important to him to identify the woman in the iconic 1957 Miss Atomic Bomb photo.
You know, it's frustrating when you're looking for an individual that long ago and you don't have key documents to help you, and you have misleading documents. When you see a name and a picture in the newspaper of the period, that's the name you're looking for. And it never dawned on me in the early stages that it could be a stage name.
Her name was Anna Lee Mahoney. She was born August 14, 1927 in the Bronx. Mahoney trained in ballet here in New York before performing in shows and musicals under her stage name, Lee A. Merlin. Now to an update on a story we told you about here on 1010 Winds. The cat who survived a 380-foot fall has found a new home with her hero. There's a happy ending in store for Mirage, the 12-year-old feline who survived a dangerous fall in Utah's Bryce Canyon National Park, which killed her original owners in late April. Chelsea Tugov, the search and rescue pilot, saved Mirage after it tumbled from the peak of Inspiration Point. This month, she adopted Mirage from the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Utah, hoping Mirage will turn into a lazy cat as she gets up in age. Winds News Time, 9:56. Time now for Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Winds.
Misers pinch them, and crooners sing about them.
Pennies from heaven.
But pennies are going away.
Penny manufacturing by the U.S. Mint would stop within the next month.
Bloomberg's Michael Bologna says the U.S. Mint has placed its final order for the zinc and copper discs that get turned into pennies. Production of the 1-cent coin is ending because it costs more than a penny to make a penny. There should be enough pennies in circulation to meet stores' needs for the rest of this year.
Retailers are probably going to run out of pennies beginning next January or February.
Billions of pennies are being hoarded, so Americans may be asked to empty out their piggy banks and other places where they stash the coins, but a transition to a penniless future may be on the horizon.
There could be a period within 5 years where we probably wouldn't see pennies anymore.
This could require some sales tax adjustments, and it might give another coin a chance to shine. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Jeff Bellinger for 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Do you have an immigration question? Download the free immigrationquestion.com app available on Apple and Android. Go to immigrationquestion.com and have your questions answered from seasoned immigration attorneys of your choice. Registration for attorneys and the public are free. This is a limited time offer. Go to immigrationquestion.com.